Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Inspired Conversations with Kim Evans. And I'm so excited to have a beautiful guest on today. And his name is Jerry Mars. And Jerry is a transition and communication coach located in San Ramon, California. Jerry, welcome to Inspired Conversations with Kim Evans.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be here. I think you're fabulous and can't wait to see where this goes.
I know I'm so excited too. So, as you all know, I am so excited. I love to always start my and open up my podcast with just a simple blessing. And I hope that's okay with you, Jerry. Is that okay?
That is fine.
So, what I like to always do, y'all know my motto. I'm Kim Evans. I am a business coach and a holistic wellness educator. I'm the owner of Two Gorgeous Integrated Health and Wellness. So, what I would love to always do is to open it up to the airways, the atmospheres. And y'all know I want to send this podcast. First of all, I want to invite the divine God into here because I really want God to be in control of this atmosphere and also the words that are going forth in this podcast, as far as the East, as far as the West, as far as the North, and as far as the South. Anyone who is listening to this, please share it out. May you be transformed. May you be edified. May you be motivated to some of the words that Jerry is going to share, or maybe I am going to share, and may that make a positive impartation in your life. Yes, and we're just so glad that God is here. And Jerry, we want to just thank him for his time and being able to share his expertise and his experience and his knowledge for what we're going to talk about today. So, welcome and thank you, Jerry, to the podcast show.
My pleasure. So happy to be here.
So, what I would like to do, if it's okay, I want to start with sharing your bio.
Okay.
So Jerry is a transition and communication coach located in San Ramon, where he teaches positive communication and self-development skills to individuals and organizations to help them overcome adversity and to achieve personal and financial success. And we always want more financial success, correct? Jerry has a very diverse background. He's retired from the U.S. Air Force, where he served as an airborne Vietnamese linguist and is a graduate of UC Berkeley. This is where we connected because I'm a UC Berkeley graduate too, and we love
Yeah.
to be connected with UC Berkeley alumni. I love it. And attended law school at University of Colorado School of Law in Boulder. In addition to his military and legal background, Jerry has worked as a federal investigator, mortgage fraud investigator, and a variety of capacities in large insurance industries. And this is another area that me and Jerry connected because I'm actually an ex-insurance agent too. So our conversations have been very, very, very good. Throughout his career, Jerry has used his powerful communications and listening skills to help others, which makes him the best transition coach. Since retiring from his law firm, Jerry has focused in his talents on teaching others these same skills so that they too may find success in their personal and professional lives. Everybody, warm welcome, audio and visual, Jerry, transition and communication coach to Inspired Conversations. Jerry, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I have some beautiful questions for you, but where I would love to start, if it's okay with you, you have such a well-versed bio. I want to ask, you've had a very impressive career spanning roles from USAF linguist, investigator, mediator, and attorney. You're an attorney
Mhm.
turned business coach. That's epic. How have these diverse experiences shaped your approach as a coach today?
These experiences from a professional capacity have given me the opportunity to learn and see a variety of different situations that I can relate to, talk about, and help somebody learn to move past it.
Mhm.
Um, The bigger piece, honestly, on the transition is I also help people through difficult times in life.
Mm,
Death, divorce, suicide of a loved one, serious health issues. And I do that because those are all things that I've lived through as well.
mhm.
And so I am teaching and sharing lessons that I learned to overcome the difficulties and the challenges that I've experienced in life so that I can make a difference and make the world a little better place.
I love it. So, how do you incorporate conflicts resolution techniques into your communication coaching? One of the things is when we go through marriages, I've had a divorce, you're on your second marriage, and it's interesting how no one teaches us conflict resolution. And if we could learn some of those skill sets, I think it would save a lot of divorce. So, how do you incorporate conflict resolution techniques into your communication style as a coach?
Well, specifically for couples, what I teach is a needless relationship. And what I mean by that
Mm,
is expectations are usually what drive need. So
mhm,
if my wife says, I really need you to help with the dishes,
mm,
that's not true. She's completely physically capable of doing the dishes.
mhm,
What she wants is to feel as though I appreciate her and I'm helping her in what she's trying to do.
mm,
But if somebody comes at you with an expectation like that and you don't understand the expectation, you fail. So, what I teach is marriage and relationships through agreement. Get rid of the expectations. If you get rid of the expectations, you pretty much get rid of the conflicts. Then you reach agreements. And if you can't reach an agreement, you start making choices about whether or not you move on or you stay or how you resolve it. But it's all about agreements, how you treat each other, what you do together when you're with each other, your roles outside of the marriage, and you have those agreements to live by. And that way, expectation goes out the door, assumptions go out the door.
Oh, I love it, Jerry. This is good. Oh man, we starting in something. We starting in fire right here. Oh, we cook it with grease, as we say in the South. So this is interesting. So first of all, how do you set the agreement or create the agreement? And two, how do you enforce the agreement?
Well, you set the agreement by stating a need.
Mhm,
Now, I said previously, I want to see a needless marriage. And
mhm,
quite honestly, what we frequently find of as needs are not actual needs. They go back to this need to feel appreciated or loved or thought of or cared for,
mhm,
which is meaningless.
mhm,
So, sitting down, talking through what you would like in your life. This isn't what I need in my life. This is what I want my life to look like. This is the person I want in my life.
mhm,
This is how I want to treat each other. This is how I want to listen to each other. This is how I want to talk to each other.
mhm,
And it's about respect and caring and listening and loving no matter what.
mhm.
So,
I love that. So then the other side of it is how do you enforce it? Because sometimes people may have selective amnesia, they may forget, or they just might be crossing a boundary. So how do you enforce that with your loved one, beloved, or mate to enforce the agreement?
it depends on the agreement, right?
Yeah.
So if it's an agreement that I'll do the dishes every Tuesday and Tuesday comes and I haven't done the dishes, she can say, "Hey, you agreed you would do the dishes." And agreements, it's kind of akin to mediation. When everybody participates in creating the agreement, you're much more likely to follow it, right?
Mm,
If the agreement was my wife says, "Jerry, you're doing the dishes every Tuesday night," and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." That's not an agreement. That's me caving in. An
mhm,
agreement is these are the chores that need to be done. When would you like to do this chore? And would you like to do that chore? And if I've agreed to do it, I'm just more likely to do it. Now, the bigger the agreement, the bigger the ramifications if somebody doesn't follow it. And it could be that you've agreed that there's repercussions. You've agreed that, well, very simply, some agreements have to be made, and if they're not kept, you don't stay married.
You don't stay married. I love it. That's
Yeah.
probably why we have as many divorces. I love it, Jerry. This is great. I love your pillars. Your pillars. Redefining your story of who you are, finding your strengths, passion, and purpose, and to create a future that determines and that is self-directed by you. Those are your pillars. I love
Yes.
it. So my question to you is, your coaching focuses on helping individuals to recreate their lives and to restore their voices. So can you share what led you to this journey of transition and at being a communication coach?
Oh, absolutely. So it's
The short version.
okay. I'll keep it to 30 minutes. Um, actually, my brother was working with a coach.
Okay.
He's an orthopedic surgeon, um, out of South Dakota. Brilliant, brilliant man. And I saw the impact that coaching was having on him. And he'd been asking me to attend a course that a gentleman named Brandon Craig puts on through Onto Course, a great, powerful course. And the distinction that's created there is between the human and the being. The human is the physical response, the amygdala, the scared, the running, the fight, the flight, all those things that we really don't need in our society today for the most part, versus the being, which is who you choose to be, the words you choose to use, choosing to use love, choosing to be love, choosing to treat people with respect and expect and respect other people's truths. Because the world that we live in, the world that I live in, is the world that I create
Mm.
through my thoughts, my words, my beliefs, the voices in my head from people in my past.
Mm.
But I can choose what world I'm living in. I can choose what I'm seeing,
Mhm.
and I quite honestly choose a beautiful, magnificent world to live in because that's my choice.
I love it. I love it. And on that note, what does it mean to redefine your story? So let's stay with that. So can you share some insights on how people can begin to shift their internal narratives?
Oh, absolutely. So there's a a coach out there, Steve Hardison, and he teaches people how to use a document.
Okay.
A document is a written out statement of who you are.
Hmm.
Not necessarily who you are today, but who you want to become.
Mm.
And I use a similar thing in a to get people to redefine themselves. So the bottom line is language is the most powerful tool and the most destructive tool that we have.
It's interesting. It said powerful and destructive at the same time.
Oh,
God
absolutely.
says that life is in the power of the tongue. Life, that's what it is. Life and God, this is God's word. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Oh, come on, Jerry. This is good.
Well,
Yes.
the first thing God created was the word, and the word is God.
Amen.
So the word is what creates.
Mm.
And so you start talking to yourself literally out loud, redefining who you are. And I've seen clients go from anxiety ridden, shaking and crying and very upset in a session to absolutely joyful over a period of months when they redefine their life. They redefine how they're seeing themselves. They redefine their strength. And so the story, we all have lots of voices in our head from our past that tell us we're good enough, we're not good enough, we're ugly, we're fat, we're stupid. We have these voices.
Mhm.
And what we do is we work to distinguish the voice that's from somebody else, which is the voice that you were created versus the voice you were created to be, the God created being that you are.
Mm.
Because I have this very, very firm belief that I am part of God. You are part of God. God created everything.
That's right.
We're already there. And if we can tap into that core of who we are before we were manipulated by society and parents and friends and family and TV and ads.
Paradigm shifts.
Yeah. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, the manipulation occurs daily. When you're watching TV, look at a commercial. Don't think about the commercial. Just focus purely on the emotion that it's creating in you.
Wow.
They prey on us constantly, and we don't even realize we're being preyed on.
Mm,
So
powerful.
get in control of that narrative in your head,
Mhm.
repeating it every day, twice a day, more if you need to, changes your world. It completely changed mine. 3 or 4 simple statements
Hmm.
completely changed my life.
What's one statement you would like to share?
I control me.
Mhm.
I control no other, and no other controls me.
Ooh, say that one more time, Jerry. I like that. I control me.
I control me. I control no other, and no other controls me. That, like very, very simply, has made driving the most joyful thing because I'm in control of my emotions.
Hmm.
I don't control anybody else. If they want to cut me off, then cut me off. It's not my job to boss them, police them, fix them, get mad at them. It's my job to love and forgive them. And if I let somebody make me angry
Mm.
by the way they're driving, I'm giving them control over me.
I control me. I control no other, and no other controls me. How is
No.
that different from a spouse, significant, or beloved giving you a command to do something and you don't want to do it?
Well, they don't exist in my life.
Woo! Say it one more time, Jerry.
They don't exist in my life
Thank you
because we
very
make
much.
agreements.
We make agreements. We don't make commands. We
Right.
don't control other people.
A command assumes that somebody is inferior to another and somebody has the right to give a command. And
Mm,
that's not what a marriage is.
mm.
That's not what a partnership is.
Yeah, let's break it down to partnerships because it may be single individuals that are married, but they're partnerships or they're growing to that level of marriage. I love it. I control me. Oh, I have no control over anybody else and no other. Oh my, Jared, that's good. I hope one day you'll write a book on that alone.
I am working on it.
Man, this is good. So, how do you help your clients identify their strengths, their passion, and their purpose?
We really focus first on loving themselves,
Mm, okay.
forgiving themselves, accepting themselves. Because often the purpose that somebody is seeking,
Mhm.
they're seeking it in order to give themselves meaning or give themselves purpose or to look good for others or whatever it might be. And none of that matters. What matters most is who you are being.
And
So
who you are becoming,
who you are becoming. Absolutely.
becoming.
Yeah,
That's the journey. The journey is who are you becoming?
exactly.
Woo!
And what's great is like no matter who I'm working with, whatever level, whether it's an executive or a college kid, the neat thing about defining who you are and being that person is you're that person no matter what. No matter what role you're in, no matter where you're at, you are the same person. You're not influenced by the power, you're not influenced by the fear, you're not influenced by the peers. You just be you, period.
Mm, I love it. This is good, Jerry. Communication plays a vital role in your coaching practice. What are some of the key communication strategies that you teach your clients if you would like to share one or two?
Well, yeah. So I teach a communication model called Spark.
Okay.
Um, Spark stands for shared vision.
Excuse me for 1 second if I don't mind, but that's
Yeah.
where I met Jerry at actually San Ramon. It was a Chamber of Commerce, and he was teaching his lecture on Spark. And he had a room full of people that had sat in on his pillar talk Spark. And I thought it was so interesting. And I saw the sign, and he had just ended, and I was going to go and sit in. And then I got his information on the Spark, and I read it. And it's like, this is freaking incredible. And I said, you know what? You're going to be a guest on my podcast show, and I want you to share this Spark. So that's how me and Jerry really got into connection of meetings. So share the spark. Share that, Jerry.
Okay. So the S is a shared vision or shared conversational domain. You're in agreement about what you're creating or what you're talking about. The P is being present. So often we're in the past, we're in the future, we're thinking about what somebody's going to say, we're interpreting what they're going to say, as opposed to just being right here, right now, solely listening to their words and hearing them.
Right.
A, make agreements, give up on expectations, just period. Uh, R is for respect. And this is a huge one, especially in the workplace, because honestly, the most important time to be respectful with an employee is when they've made a mistake
Hmm.
because they're scared, they're upset, they feel bad. And if you can treat them with respect and work to find a solution that can go forward in the future, that can make a big difference in your business or your organization. And then the K is knowledge.
Hmm.
So there's a book out there, Experiments Never Fail. And basically what it says is that no matter what you've done in your life, whether it was good or bad, went right, went wrong, you've learned from it. And so long as you've learned from it, it wasn't a failure. And so being willing to share openly and honestly your mistakes,
Hmm.
failures, where it succeeded, where you didn't succeed, if you can share that with an organization, you take a lot of mystery out. People are great at sharing their successes, right? Oh, I put together a $3 million company, but they failed on 10 others, right?
Hmm.
And those failures is what gave them the knowledge they needed to become successful.
Hmm. I love it.
And so I actually did this training for an organization and recently it was in June before some travels. And at the end of the training, it was 3.5 hours. We created an agreement that everybody on the staff signed on to about who they are, how they're going to treat each other, who they're going to be in the workplace.
Hmm.
And it's posted on a wall in their office so everybody can see what their agreements are about who they're going to be in the workplace.
Remind me, S is what does S stands for again?
Shared vision or shared conversational domain.
Okay. So we have shared vision, P for present, A for agreement, R for respect, and K for knowledge.
Exactly.
Amazing. 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 And that's your pillar of your
Yeah.
talk, your signature talk.
Yeah.
So you mentioned helping individuals create a future determined and directed by themselves, because that's part of one of your pillars in your coaching practice. So how important is personal agency in achieving this? In other words, how do you help people, in addition to what your coaching strategy is, reclaim back their power?
Well, again, the biggest thing we're doing
Mhm.
is we're banishing the thoughts, the words, the voices that repeat over and over in their head, telling them what they're not good enough at, what they're not smart enough at, what they're not pretty enough at. And we take away those voices. And in large part, that's through meditation and forgiveness. We take away those voices so that we can get somebody into the point where they're being present, where the past no longer matters. It's a
Mm.
great learning tool. We've learned from it,
Mhm.
but it doesn't exist anymore. There's no point to be in the past. If you're
Yes.
in the past, you're not here right now.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Let's stay in the future. God is not of a past God. He's now.
He's right
Oh my
now.
God, that is so powerful. And it's
Nothing
so
else matters.
nothing else matters. It's not the past. It's right now. Oh, that is great. Can you share a success story of someone that went through your coaching program and experienced a significant change in their life?
Oh, yeah,
Short
absolutely.
version.
hmm Young lady. Now, mind you, I have to say, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a
Yeah,
counselor. I'm a
we know
coach.
your coach. Yes,
Right.
exactly. Full
But
disclosure. We know that.
yes, um, she was dealing with some. psychological diagnoses, a lot of medication, anxiety, depression, bulimia, and she worked really hard. Okay, so the success I attribute to her, not to me. But she worked really hard to change what she was saying to herself about who she was.
Mm,
And she got to the point that she's off almost all of her meds.
mm,
She's happy. She's vibrant. The anxiety is greatly reduced. Um, she's enjoying life in a way that she's never enjoyed it before, sticking up for herself in a way that she's never stuck up for herself before, and creating new, powerful relationships with those in her life. And it's wonderful to see.
mm. Someone like that, Jerry, that have gone through your coaching, what's the next transition for them? Where would you place them? Where would you take them after they have completed that breakthrough? What's the next in your coaching program or coaching practice?
It's really well, first of all, to get this quote unquote right
Mm-hmm.
takes time.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't an instant fix.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
How long are we talking, roughly?
well,
Average.
depends on the individual.
Oh,
6 months to a year.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
To really get a hold of your thoughts and your voices and to start making changes. And
Okay.
you know, one thing that's interesting is some people I've talked to, they live their life out of fear.
Yes.
And they're so scared of giving up the fear,
Yes.
they don't want to coach because they prefer to live in fear
Yes.
because the fear of giving up fear is too great.
Yes. And we
And
know,
that's
yes, and we know that healthy decisions cannot be made out of fear at all.
well, and
Oh.
fear is stress, and stress ruins our body. Stress beats us up. So what I would do is after somebody's really found some peace in their life, I'd be encouraging them to work with others, to teach and to share.
Okay.
Uh, Not necessarily as a coach, but in their world, their friends, their families.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is never telling anybody what to do, but being who you are being such that other people want to know what happened.
I love it.
Who is this? How did you get here?
Mm.
And sharing that knowledge. And a big piece of it, honestly, is meditation. That's really important to the whole process.
I love it. So, wow, this has been so, so good. Sometimes you just have to bite it in small pieces and not give so much and replay it back, right? So you can figure out which one of the tips that really made impact. But I always love to end my podcast with some light kind of questions. So I wanted to just ask you real quickly as we close this out,
Let's hear it.
what gives you the greatest fulfillment and the greatest joy? What you do?
Um, Loving my wife and my kids,
Mm,
period. I think they're amazing.
mm, mm. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
And what's your favorite food?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Thai food today.
Love Thai too. I love.
Spicy, spicy.
I always love Thai. I always love
Yeah.
spicy too. I love it too. And if you could travel, being of your very well versed career and your triple threat that we opened it up, being a lawyer and a linguist and your military. I know you've traveled the world. So is there a continent or a place, Jerry, that you and your wife have not traveled, that if you could spin the bottle and no time, space, money, or where would you go next and travel the world?
Australia and New Zealand.
I love it. Why
I've
the
always, huh?
why
I'm
those
sorry.
why the
Well, I've just always been drawn to it.
Mhm.
This summer we traveled a lot already, Italy and Mexico, and I've been traveling around the States a bit, but there's something that draws me to New Zealand and to Australia. I
Mhm.
can't put a specific word to it, but it's something that I'll be doing in the next few years.
Mhm. This has been such a beautiful snippet of what you do in helping people transform their lives. Is there anything else that you would like to share or a point that you would like to add before we close out the show?
Really, that the word and the words you use have control of your life. Use precision in your speaking, use honesty with yourself, and love who you are.
Mm, words, precision, and honesty, loving who you are.
Yeah.
That's paramount. I love it. Jerry, how do people get in contact with you?
They can go to my website, which is www.geraldmars.com. Gerald with a J. I'm a
Okay.
different type of Gerald. My contact is on there. My phone number is on there. Um, Give me a call, send me an email. I would love to talk. And I always work with somebody a couple of times before we figure out whether or not it would be a good fit. And those are gifted sessions where we just get to know each other. Because if somebody's not willing to do the work,
Mhm.
it's not going to work. So my clients that are successful are clients that put in the effort. So,
Amen. So, how can someone get started right away in working with you if they wanted to start working with you now?
oh, simply just send me an email.
Okay, an email.
Yep. Jerry@geraldmars.com and we'll get cooking.
All right. Well, there you have it. And I will also include all the information about Jerry's business and his website in the show notes. So, Jerry, again, it has been a plum pleasure. Thank you so much for being a guest on Inspired Conversations with Kim Evans.
Oh, well, you're fabulous. And I'm so delighted to have been here. Thank you.
And I look so forward to your success and helping other people shine brightly. So, everybody, give a warm welcome and applause to Jerry Mars. Thank you so much for being on Inspired Conversations podcast show. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Bye bye.